Have you secured your home to protect your family and provisions? Hi, I'm Jonathan.
And Kylene Jones, and we are the Provident Preppers. Your home is where you keep all that is most precious to you, your family, your valuable resources, and everything that you need to live your everyday life.
It only makes sense that you protect your family and your provisions by securing your home. In this video, we'll talk about some things you can do to make that happen today.
Our goal is to be safe and protected in our own home. In order to achieve this, we need to fortify our home against possible hazards, including criminals, periods of unrest, and desperate individuals, as well as man-made and natural disasters. It's impossible to protect your home from every threat, because if somebody really wants access to your home, they could take a piece of large equipment and drive it through the front door. Our goal is to fortify our home and make it a less appealing target.
That's right. This video is based on a post entitled The Prepper's Guide to Securing Your Home. We hope that you'll take a look at that for a lot of additional details.
An important part of our preparedness efforts is to fortify our home against burglars today and looters that may pose a threat to us after disaster strikes. Disasters bring out the best in some people and the inner monster in others. Our best plan of action is to make sure that we are protected and that we take those steps now to keep our family safe.
What we want to provide is layers of protection. Not just one thing or one great thing, but a lot of little layers, a lot of little things that make up a big package that really does an effective job.
It's important to blend in with your neighborhood and stay as invisible as possible. We don't want to have anything in plain sight that could tempt someone, and we don't want them to think that our home is an easy target. The overall appearance should look secure enough to deter potential burglars, but ordinary enough to stay under the radar. Park your vehicles in the garage. Never leave a remote to your garage door inside a car that is parked in the driveway.
We want to create deterrents, and deterrents are nothing more than making them think twice about whether or not they want to intrude.
So something as simple as an alarm sign can make them think, maybe I don't want to come here. Security lighting is important because thieves will avoid bright lights. They prefer concealment. So if your home is well lit and doesn't allow them the opportunity to conceal themselves, they may just move on to a target where they can conceal themselves. You should make sure you have exterior lighting that illuminates all points of entry to your home.
Motion-sensitive lights are incredibly valuable because they turn on when there is some kind of motion that activates them. Otherwise, they stay off, but they provide the light when you need it and where you need it.
Those lights can also startle an intruder enough that they will just turn around and leave. Solar-powered security lights are a good option for areas of your property where you may not have electricity.
They also have a battery backup so that they are available even if the power does go out.
Sound is another deterrent that can discourage a would-be thief and alert neighbors that there are suspicious activities in your home. Security alarms not only use the sound to discourage intruders, but to disorient them and warn that an area has been breached. You can leave on a television or radio to give the impression that someone is still home when you leave your house. There are barking dog alarms that can sense motion outside of your front door. They're really cool because they start to bark, but as more movement happens and they get closer, the barking becomes more intense. It's just another trick, but it could be something that could add another layer of protection.
That's right. There are a lot of technological things that we can use that really can make a big difference.
Like the driveway or outside motion sensor alarms that will alarm when anybody has breached a barrier. It doesn't actually have to be a mean-looking dog. Any dog with a decent bark may make enough noise to alert the neighbors or to discourage the individual from actually pursuing your property.
Remember also that a father trying to feed his starving children may not be deterred by a dog. So you do, again, want these layers of protection.
There's a balance in all of it, and everything's not going to work for every scenario, but one layer on top of another helps to fortify your home.
Obviously, cameras, we've talked a little bit about technology. This is one of the great technological advancements. There are amazing cameras out there that have night vision capabilities and other capabilities that really allow you to see, even from your cell phone, what is happening on your property.
Quite frankly, if you put those cameras in visible places and someone sees that they are being watched, it's a great deterrent. If they have any sense at all, they're going to be out of there. Physical barriers are different than deterrents. They are actually designed to physically prevent that person from entering your property, not to just make them think twice. This is a beautiful fence, and it is definitely a physical barrier trying to protect the perimeter of this property.
And of course, nothing takes the place of locking your doors.
It may sound like a no-brainer to tell you to lock your door, but that is the most common way that thieves enter the home, is through an unlocked door or window. You need to train your family to keep your home locked. One thing that's really important is if you ever have a key that has been missing long enough for somebody to make a copy of it, you really should rekey all the locks to your home. This can be really difficult, so there are other options that you may want to consider. Instead of giving your children keys to your home, you may want to install a coded deadbolt where they can just punch in the code to get in. If that code is compromised, it can just be changed. Another advantage is that you can easily change those codes on a regular basis so that you know exactly who has access to your home at all times. One more thing to consider is hiding keys. Do not, if you choose to use the keys, do not hide them in typical locations like under the mat or above the door jamb. Make sure that you hide them in some place that nobody would think of. You know that mean looking dog? How about inside his house? Or you could put the key inside a short piece of PVC pipe with caps on both ends and actually bury it in the yard. Another option is inside of a properly installed coded lockbox that you have mounted out of sight. So you actually have to punch a code in to get that key out to open the home. It's really important that you think this through and limit who has access to your home. Landscape itself can either invite or deter trespassers. A well-planned landscape can be beautiful and yet not provide a place for them to hide. If you look at this picture, these shrubs are all short. They're less than 3 feet tall. So you're not giving a criminal a place to hang out where you can't see them. If you have a 2-story house, look at your trees. Make sure that you have trimmed all branches away that may give someone access to a 2nd-story window. One of my favorite strategies is to plant thorny or prickly shrubs underneath a window. If you look at this rose bush, it is placed perfectly so that it looks nice, but if someone is trying to climb into that window, they may get in that window, but I promise you it's going to hurt them. Same thing with this shrub. It looks like just a normal part of a landscape, but it is a physical barrier to help prevent someone from climbing into that window. These are beautiful roses. And if you didn't know better, you wouldn't understand that they have been planted to make it difficult for a person to access the perimeter of this property. This is a short chain link fence that normally could be easily hopped by anyone, providing very little protection. But by planting these thorny roses all along it, it makes it a bigger challenge to access that perimeter of the property. Is it still possible? Absolutely. What we're doing is creating layers of protection. Doors are a vital point of entry and must be secured. All exterior doors should be made of solid wood, fiberglass, steel, or aluminum, something that can withstand the force and provide the greatest protection for your family. Interesting enough though, the frame, the strike plate, and the hinges are just as important as the door itself. In this photo, you can see these security doors. They're actually very pretty and don't look like you're turning your home into a prison. However, they provide a lot of protection.
These doors are very functional and very sturdy, and they are very versatile as well. In this case, the glass is in the door because it's during a colder time of the year.
So it kind of functions as a storm door in addition.
Exactly. It does provide storm door protection, but in the spring you can pull out the glass panels, put in the screened panels, and then you have a secure door that can be left open to allow ventilation in the home.
One more layer of security, making your home look like a more difficult target, encouraging the thief to move on to an easier target down the street.
Some fixes are just as simple as pulling out the short screws on your strike plate and replacing them with longer screws, maybe a 3-inch screw that goes through the wood frame and into the stud behind.
Windows are another vulnerable point of entry that can easily be broken or pried open. Make sure that you keep them locked and closed when you are not at home. Keep in mind when you are fortifying your windows that you may need to escape out that window during an emergency. Never compromise safety in the name of security.
You can see in this case several physical barriers that won't allow thieves into your home. In the upper left there, you can see just simply placing a rod or a dowel in the track of the window makes it so that window can't be opened far enough to gain access. In the bottom left, you can see a window well cover that is secured by chains down low enough that they can't be reached from above, but they provide the ability for egress. In the case of a fire or other need to get out of the home quickly, those chains can be unclipped. There's a ladder on that window well. That grate can be slid open to allow people to exit. The window on the right is covered with window bars that are permanently in place because this window is not needed for egress from the home.
Ground level windows like this one can be easily kicked out, so it is very important that you pay attention to securing all of those basement or ground level windows. I want you to think about what people see through the windows of your home at night. Your most valuable possessions are in your home, and one of those is your family. Can they watch what your family is doing at night? Can someone stalk a member of your family, or perhaps learn the habits of your family and when you're going to be gone simply by watching through your windows? Be careful, you may need to just close those blinds or curtains. In this picture, you can see very valuable weapons hung on the wall through this window at night. This is advertising to the thief exactly what spoils he may have the opportunity of gaining if he breaks into this home. We want to make sure that we keep valuable items out of the line of sight of anyone looking in through our windows. Now, if they make it into the home, we want to make sure we've added another layer of protection by securing the valuables inside the home.
This means securing things in a safe or in another place where thieves will not be inclined to go.
One of your valuable possessions is your food storage. So where are you storing it? Is it in an obvious place? Do you have it in one location, or have you separated it into multiple locations so that if somebody finds your food storage stash and takes it, they haven't taken everything? The picture on the lower left shows boxes of food storage stored under a bed. In this home, there are multiple locations where food storage is stored, partly so that you can store it all, but another reason is to make sure that you don't put all of your eggs in one basket. In the upper left-hand corner, there's something called diversion safes, and you can check them out online. They just look like normal everyday items where you can put small valuables and just store them on your shelf with other like things, and nobody is the wiser. Diversion safes are great, but they're a little bit expensive. How about using just some regular containers that you normally have in your household? No guy in his right mind is ever going to open up a box of panty liners to look for something valuable. Be creative, think it through, and see what you can come up with to help add that one additional layer of protection by securing your valuables inside of your home.
Another aspect of home security is operational security, which means that you understand who and what lies around you, what threats are out there, and just being aware of those and planning for those if need be.
Right, you need to know your neighbors. Which neighbors pose a threat and which neighbors may be an asset to you.
Operational security is also not putting your family at risk through careless conversations or saying things that just don't need to be said.
You should probably downplay your level of preparedness and share specific details on a need-to-know basis only.
We also believe in sharing, so it's possible to share, but you may want to do so anonymously.
Silence means security. You never know who may be silently listening, taking notes on what you say on social media, or noting the supplies that are taken into your home or the empty containers placed in your garbage can. The best way to discover your vulnerabilities is to look at your home through the eyes of a thief. We like to do this by involving the entire family because, quite frankly, if you don't have the buy-in of your entire family, your home will never be secure. So this is a great way to involve everybody. You can dress up if you want. That makes it fun for us to put on the dark clothing and the masks and all of that. But the important thing is that you discover your vulnerabilities. We like to start our adventure in the street in front of our home. That gives us a broader perspective. What can you see through the windows at night? Are your valuables, such as computers or televisions, easily visible through the window and tempting someone? Would a stalker be able to see your family members and observe activities inside the home? After you have looked at everything from the street, scan your surroundings. Where could a bad guy possibly hide? Are all of the points of entry visible and well lit? How about the borders of your property? Could someone easily gain access to the backyard? After you've done all your observation, challenge the family to gain access to the home without using the garage code, the key, or breaking anything. You may be amazed at the tips and tricks you learn from your kids. So after this, we really want you to write down everything that you found and get your family together and have this discussion and this open dialogue about how you can make your home more safe and secure. And then take the steps that you need to correct the deficiencies and improve your security.
We've created some other valuable resources for you. In addition to the Prepper's Guide to Securing Your Home, we also have Protecting Yourself from the Darker Elements of Society, and also Death and Disaster in 5 Short Minutes. These are a couple of other resources that we hope that you'll take a look at that might provide you some insight. These are also in the show notes, and we encourage you to take a look there as well.
The goal is to create layers of protection and to create the illusion that it's not worth the time or effort that it's going to take to break through your defenses to gain what is inside your home.
Take some time today to evaluate your situation and figure out what you can do to take care of yourself and your family and your provisions.
And now for the question of the day. What things have you done to add layers of protection to secure your home? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.